If you are like me, then you do not trust our government. In fact, most Americans don't trust our government. According to a Pew Research Center study, 80% of Americans don't trust our government. Studies show that public trust in our government has declined 60% since the 1960s, and yet, still, there is a majority of Americans that view capitalism favorably. I can't seem to wrap my mind around this inherent contradiction, the fact that most Americans hate our government and yet love capitalism. The reason that this is hypocritical is because our government's policies and the politicians who enact them are controlled and funded and vetted by capitalists. And even more so, they are capitalists. To prove this point, we can look no further than to the incoming president, Donald Trump, and the people that he's picked to fill his cabinet. People like billionaire hedge fund manager Scott Bessent, who has been picked to be the next Secretary of Treasury. Not to be confused with Trump's last Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, who was a former executive at Goldman Sachs and who enjoyed a nice, long, illustrious career on Wall Street. Or how about our new Secretary of Commerce, billionaire CEO, Howard Lutnick? Or billionaire CEO Steve Witkoff, who will be the next envoy to the Middle East? Or how about billionaire executive and former professional wrestling performer Linda McMahon, who will of course be the next Secretary of Education? And who can forget Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Elon Musk, who will be heading the Department of Government Efficiency? Indeed, the net worth of all billionaires that have been picked to serve in Trump's cabinet is roughly $400 billion. That is more than the GDP of some 172 different countries on Earth. I simply cannot understand how most Americans have not connected the dots between the government and capitalism, how the economy controls politics. How can most Americans live in this society and accurately, correctly conclude that we should not be trusting our government, but then not make the cognitive leap of understanding who the government is controlled by? In the political economy of capitalism, the government is controlled by capitalists. This is the world that we live in. The people that are in charge of administering public policy, are they themselves worth hundreds of billions of dollars? 10% of the wealthiest Americans control 93% of the stock market. 3 Americans have more wealth than the bottom half of the American population. That's 150 million people. And I could go on and on and on. This is the world that we live in. If I could get anything through to the average hardworking American, it is this: that the government is controlled by capitalists. That yes, we should despise our government, and the reason we should despise our government is because it's controlled by a class of people who are actively determined to undermine our very livelihood and existence every day. The state itself, its primary function is to preserve that class antagonism between owners and workers, or capitalists and laborers. If you hate our government but you love capitalism, then you are being hypocritical. If you hate our politics, but you still love our economy, then you have not reconciled with the concept of a political economy and what that means in our society. You cannot divorce the economy from politics, or politics from the economy. Every political decision is also simultaneously an economic one. Every economic decision is simultaneously a political decision. They go hand in hand, they are inseparable, and you cannot divorce one from the other. My goal is to root out this pervasive strain of thinking in American society that basically amounts to what is called Stockholm Syndrome. I want you to hate capitalism as much as it hates you. This class of people that is represented in the Trump administration are highly organized and highly class conscious, and they are acting out of their class interests. We, as working class members of society, should be doing the same. We should be organizing against them, because they are clearly not going to let up. We are out-organized, we are not outnumbered. Stop scrolling! Hey YouTube friends, if you like my content, please subscribe to my new backup page right here. It's in the link in the caption. Look at it, it's right there, see? Do me a solid, subscribe to the new backup page. The channel that you are currently watching this video on has been permanently demonetized, suspended, and banned from going live. So I need my faithful followers here to do me a solid and please subscribe to my new page, because I just hit 1,000 subscribers on the new page, but I'm still looking for 57,000 of you out there that have yet to subscribe. So please, help me out. Don't be anti-Semitic. Help me get back on my feet by subscribing to the new page. Thank you so much for your time. Good night and God bless.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Gave the orders to do drone strikes.